everybody's doing well, and this is what went wrong. I'm looking for Mike H. I really wanted to, you know, has been co-piloting in his soul since the day I I started doing it for real. That's just the truth. It just I I wanted to I'm selling to Caddy, and now I wouldn't even offer it to him because it's I'm gonna have to sell as is. I think the tranny's going out maybe, and even if I cleaned it all up, I windshield got cracked 2 winters ago. Um, I say I've had some issues. It still runs good actually, but it's going south on me. And I was in a rant about that and be grateful, and then uh, get into the comment, and I start looking, and best I can see, Mike D. A Mike said he'd check in sometime, so we're gonna go with that for a minute. Uh, yeah. Oh, I think Julia, you will the universe. Julia, you watched it. That's awesome. Uh, yeah, no, thank you. Uh, and I didn't know if I went too far. I was trying to make jokes. I've been clear about the foot thing, so I'm like, okay, that's. It was legitimate inspiration, and I think the subject is correct. And then uh, the thing is, I think Kanye got banned for like porn, but then there's that whole gray area of, let's say, thirst trapping. And I over on Patreon talked about it, right? The Otiken, which I like, and they are super dressed, but there is 100% thirst trap thing going on there. So then, if with the whole 1984 Blade Runner discussion that I've been going hard on today, I personally believe we want the ability to walk on past the robot sex shop. We don't want the robot worker governmentally placed in our home and then possibly spying on us while Junior's railing away on it like an old vacuum cleaner. Sorry to be vulgar, but I'm just saying I'm sure we want choice in the whole thing, and no, it doesn't, Mike. It doesn't work. That's my point. Is that's why I use the feet example, because there's horrible jokes. I don't even have to filter it through me of let's say sexually repressed societies, you know, being crazy over like ankles. Now, that's a forced extreme behavior through, let's say, morality policing. And it seems, all right, it seems like we're screwed. Uh, and that I agree with the bureaucratic regulation. Your point is valid. We, I think that's what we're discovering right now, is that we put all kinds of acts in place, plays or dramatizations that we tend to go along with because through false moral and illogical reasoning, we go, oh, I agree with that. I saw someone explain it today. Well, we're finally getting back to true conservatism. Well, no, the true is just means you agree with it. It's subjective. That true, outside of quantifiable fact, true, real, and other things are subjective terms wielded by the ranter, right? They're not, it doesn't mean the same thing. And that's our biggest problem is with regulating any sort of morality or behavior. Well, here, I can go out right now in public, and it sure seems that a lot of people think their kids running around affecting other people's lives is somehow sound behavior. Well, this is a good example for me. No, in my social contract, if you couldn't control your kids, you couldn't go out to eat. And I'd weigh Sarah, my ex, and I hope she's doing well out there, but she used to go, she'd just go sit right down at your table. She didn't care. But then she worked for the state. She actually helped people get apartments and she evicted people, and she was a badass woman. No bullshit. But she didn't play. At the same time, she was as picky a customer as you'd ever seen. So it was very weird. My point being is I liked her a lot. I wouldn't want her to make the choices. You'd go back to kids are seen and not heard. That didn't. We don't like that, right? We want our little people to be little men, little women. Oh, they're so big. No, they're not. And their ability to follow the social contract is zero. So my point is valid, whether you like it or not. What limit? Who puts the limits? Who is the arbitrator of these decisions? This is where the faithful, for all the flaws, when those are cosmic morality laws handed down and judged by on high, they tend to be a little. Now, I'm not talking about the shadows. We know what happens in the shadows, but it creates a framework that's easier to understand and follow. I don't even want to debate the legitimacy outside of the psychology. Makes fucking sense. Excuse my language. I was doing good, but it makes sense because it's like the atheist. Now I don't care. Believe whatever you like, but you're telling me you're the arbitrator of morality. I look around at the planet and the decisions being made are really skewed. Because I talk about it. There are things that are completely disgusting but aren't immoral. They're just disgusting. Then there's things like me needing my shovel to go get some loving and the whole consent and desecration side. But then my body, my choice, right? That somehow we can't even distinguish between life, two separate lives. I guess somehow digging up the dead and going to town is, A-okay. I personally believe no, it's a morally gray, disgusting, probably immoral and very wrong. But I'm just using that. I know there's tons of stuff that is truly immoral. And if we're not careful, those decisions will be made for us. In 1984 it is. So, Julia, I am positive it's because whether it's real or not, we live in the dominion of Luciferian doctrine or, that ancient blood sacrifice cult. You call it whatever you want. It's pretty much matching up with biblical prophecy, which is weird, but it appears we will have to go through that control system Revelation spoke of. Here's where I really get excited, because if it's even close to accurate, there would have to be a world leader that 99.9% of everyone agrees with. And it will be the tiny 1%, 10%, 2%, I don't know. It's not going to be that much. Because they're going to wow the world. I will know that that's the Antichrist. But until 99% of the planet gets on the same page, well, then I realize we're just in a struggle for dominance and control with Luciferian systems, but good can always win out over evil. I do believe that. In application, I don't always succeed, but I am sure trying to put my money where my mouth is most days. So, and yeah, no, I'm not trying to knock on, let's say, the core Mormon believer is probably a wonderful person, but they do have sexually dysfunctional offshoots, and they do have their own genre of porn. Because I'm not afraid. I made extreme lifestyle choices in my life at one point, so I lived in a world where people did crazy stuff, and yeah, they're not joking about the magic underwear. They're getting into the magic underwear in their group. I mean, it's like it's just all on Front Street, and then weird control. It's not. It's yeah. I wish I didn't know as much as I did about the subject, honestly. But I lived a very misspent youth. Yeah, no. Sometimes the youth going wild. Whatever. At least I didn't end up on Skid Row. So I couldn't find Mike, and I don't know which comment. Mike H, if you know where my phone showed me, said, hey, I saw him, but then I was like, I'm gonna get to it on now, and to be honest, it ain't here, and I love how they do that to me, because I'm already 4 days, so they have so much in weird. It's I don't know. Oh, I think we could do that. It's been a while. Hey, sorry you don't. Now if you're not into it, I really, I don't blame you. I got a couple people like, hey, I'm done with you. Okay, I'm. Someone else was telling me I complain about the subs all the time, but I just think you know. Over here at Shadow Band Sally's, you do what you got to do. It's just hard to get the message out, I'm pretty sure is the deal. But I don't know. Maybe I whine about it. Such is life. So, Julia and Mike D for watching the one that thought I put the actual best effort into. Thank you. And then your on it opinions really matter to me, so thank you. There's that's the good book says it won't stay hidden and it'll become. I think it's here now. I think the amount of, let's say, well, this channel we pointed it out, even if I don't mind some of it, the amount of, let's say, satanic imagery or blasphemous messaging in mainstream entertainment, well, unfortunately for all my jokes, they had to find a way to get us into a position where we'd have sex with the robots and love our AI companions. It's taken a lot of years, but they got us here. And to quote South Park, I'm sure it's the Canadian devil making algorithms that mislead us and inventing loot boxes. That's a South Park thing, so I don't know if you're fans or not. I gotta go. We gotta do reactions and move on to something other than me ranting. But I am quite interested in what's going on in society right now, so I have opinions. And I appreciate the bus riders. Those are basically unreplaceable subs. Later.